The 19th century houses weren't as spacious as we imagine. Many families lived crammed into small rooms with low ceilings, little light, and always too much stuff compared to the size. This forced our grandparents to get creative and come up with countless little tricks to live neatly in houses that seemed unlivable. How did they manage to organize life for the whole family in a house that was only 1,000 feet square? Let's explore 25 smart secrets from the previous generation that help optimize small spaces that you wish you knew sooner. Organizing linens and fabrics. In the small homes of the past, linen closets were always packed tight. But Grandma had an incredibly simple and unbelievably effective trick. Instead of keeping each item separate, she folded the bed sheet, the flat sheet, and the fitted sheet together, and then tucked the whole set into the pillowcase that belonged to that set. She chose the deepest pillowcase, flattened it, bundled it up, and just like that, you had a tidy, square block, with the whole set together and nothing getting lost. This method keeps everything in one place, saves space, and lets you grab a complete set in seconds. Nowadays, just stacking those linen blocks vertically or putting them in labeled baskets keeps the linen closet neat. A small but clever trick that the previous generation left behind. When the drawers were full and she needed to put away seasonal fabrics, Grandma had another smart way, using old suitcases around the house. Instead of buying expensive plastic boxes, she folded flannel sheets, holiday tablecloths, or thick curtains and put them all inside the suitcases. This way, she reused old luggage and didn't take up extra closet space in those small houses. These suitcases even looked nice, like decorations, and could slide under the bed or be stacked on top of the closet, keeping bulky items out of sight until the next season. As for spare pillows or thin blankets for guests, Grandma would use a storage ottoman to hide the items inside so no extra space was wasted. Just make sure to fold the blankets very flat before storing them inside, and the living room space will always be tidy and clean, truly embodying the spirit of thriftiness and neatness that Grandma always upheld. Did that first tip surprise you? Go ahead and hit hype, and let's keep discovering the next exciting tips. You'll be amazed by this super smart organizing system. Under the bed storage system. The space under the bed is a golden piece of land that was never wasted. In the houses of the 1940s to 50s, that were only about 1,000 feet square, where closets were small and items were always overloaded, Grandma's trick created incredibly valuable extra storage space. She utilized old wooden apple crates, broken drawers, or wheeled bins to slide under the bed. These reused bins were much more durable than modern plastic boxes. For easy management, she clearly labeled the front, so all you had to do was pull it lightly to find what you were looking for. Thanks to this, the area under the bed became a clean, spacious, and extremely effective secret closet. When she ran into the common problem, the bed was too low to fit standard containers, Grandma had a simple solution. She lifted the bed up a few inches. Using sturdy wooden blocks or bed risers, she created enough space to slide in lidded containers used for storing shoes, sweaters, or spare linens. Nowadays, modern bed risers even come with electrical outlets, making the space more convenient while still keeping it neat. Grandma also had a great trick for dealing with seasonal decorations. Soft, bulky items that take up an awful lot of closet space. Vacuum compression. She sucked the air out of bags holding wreaths, Christmas pillow covers, or Thanksgiving fabric flags, turning them from a big, puffy pile into a thin, flat sheet. These compressed bags were slid right under the bed, protected from dust and mold, and freed up a huge amount of closet space. If she didn't have a vacuum cleaner, she would just tightly roll and press the air out by hand before sealing it. Thanks to these small tricks, Grandma always kept the house neat, while every bit of space was maximized. Timeless spirit of saving. Built-in folding ironing board cabinet. In the small homes of the past, where floor space was a precious asset, having a bulky ironing board was unacceptable, as it took up significant space and often got in the way. Instead of having to find a place to put away the ironing board after every use, Grandma often used an ironing board that was built right into the wall between the studs and completely disappeared when not in use. This design included a board that folded down on a hinge and a shallow cabinet above to hold the iron and other necessary items like spray bottles. These types of built-in ironing board cabinets were standard in homes built from 1920 to 1960. In small apartments, where every room had to serve multiple purposes, this solution made tremendous sense. This meant the kitchen, laundry room, or bedroom didn't have to sacrifice precious floor space for an ironing board only used for a few minutes at a time. Some models were even designed with an electrical outlet right inside the cabinet for the iron, adding convenience. Staircase drawers. Many older homes utilized every small corner for storage, and the staircase was one of the longest overlooked gold mines. Instead of letting the empty space beneath the steps go to waste, clever families turned each riser into a discreet drawer. These risers were actually just sturdy wooden boxes mounted on slides, but the storage capacity was surprising. In row houses or townhouses, where the staircase was against the outer wall, this design fully utilized the space that normally nobody would use. A 13-step staircase could add storage equivalent to a small closet, enough space for shoes, blankets, cleaning supplies, or even family photo albums. This solution was neat and durable, as the drawers were integrated directly into the house's structure instead of depending on loose storage boxes. This is a typical example of resourceful thinking. Architecture that seemed purely functional could still become an effective storage area, as long as you knew how to exploit it. Clipping shower curtain rings onto hangers to hold scarves. Scarves, belts, and ties always tend to become a messy pile, wrinkled and hard to find in drawers, wasting time every morning. Grandma completely eliminated this problem with an extremely simple and inexpensive trick using shower curtain rings. She just hooked a row of shower curtain rings onto a sturdy hanger, then looped each scarf through each ring. When the whole thing was hung in the closet, this system only took up the exact space of a thin shirt, but opened up an extremely effective vertical storage solution. Everything was kept straight, easy to see, easy to grab, and no more digging through drawers. The nice thing is that it's not just for scarves, belts, ties, tank tops. Everything can be hung neatly on these rings. With this method, a space in the closet that was once ignored suddenly became a tidy and maximized storage area. If you want to add more organization, you can use color-coded shower curtain rings to sort by season, material, or frequency of use. You know exactly what to grab at a glance, which saves time and reduces morning stress. Placing mirrors opposite windows to increase light. Small rooms often lack natural light, making the space dark, cramped, and stuffy. Instead of relying on electric lights, our grandma simply placed a mirror directly opposite the window. The mirror catches the sunlight and reflects it deeper into the room, making the space instantly brighter. Just a small change is enough to create a much more spacious, airy, and pleasant feeling. This visual effect comes not only from the increased light, but also from the illusion of space the mirror creates. Depending on the interior style, you can use a large mirror to create a focal point, or hang two smaller mirrors parallel to double the effect. When placed correctly, a mirror not only diffuses daylight, but also highlights the outdoor scenery, bringing more natural color into the room. The important thing is always to keep the mirror surface clean, so the light reflects strongly and clearly. Even a thin layer of dust is enough to significantly reduce brightness. This is a classic example of how a simple decorative object can become an extremely effective tool for optimizing light and space. The ingenuity of the Murphy bed. In small city apartments, my grandma's Murphy bed was a revolutionary solution, turning the living room into a bedroom at night and vice versa. These wall beds became popular from the 1920s to 1960s and were a symbol of clever urban space design. They fold up completely during the day, often hidden behind something that looks like a cabinet or bookshelf, completely freeing up the floor space. The mechanism is simple but effective, using counterweights or springs to make lifting and lowering easy and safe. This allowed a small studio apartment to flexibly serve the function of both a living room and a bedroom, creating versatility for the home. Some designs were even more creative, including a fold-down desk attached to the bottom of the bed, creating an instant office as soon as the bed was lifted. This is a great example of furniture that serves more than just one purpose, but also has the ability to adapt to changing needs throughout the day. Reusing bread pans as drawer dividers. When space in the drawers became tight, Grandma resorted to using old bread pans as dividers. These classic bread pans also worked great as handy tabletop trays, perfect for holding TV remotes, pens, batteries, or any small items that easily get lost. By simply arranging multiple pans side by side or combining them with other organizing tools, you could customize any drawer exactly to your needs without buying expensive extra stuff. The interesting thing is that bread pans, often considered old or scrap items, have incredible durability. They withstand weight, don't lose their shape, and act as a long-lasting sorting system. This solution not only saved money, but also helped keep everything in place, from the kitchen to the desk. A seemingly ordinary item could create a more organized and logical space just through a little creativity in how it was used. If you find these tips are still useful today, please support the video with a like and a subscribe. Let's continue to honor this relentless spirit of innovation from the older generation. Pegboard kitchen wall. Long before the pegboard became popular in modern stores or workshops, my grandma hung her entire kitchen arsenal on this perforated hardboard. She turned a blank wall into an incredibly flexible and accessible vertical storage area. She used bent coat hangers as custom hooks for kitchen utensils. A single 4x8 pegboard cost about 50 cents back in 1955. Hanging every pot, pan, colander, and measuring cup instantly freed up precious cabinet space for dishes and dry goods. She could rearrange everything seasonally, moving canned goods to the front and center during harvest time. Thanks to the high customizability of the pegboard, the beauty of the pegboard lies in its high flexibility and customizability, allowing you to change the storage layout instantly without drilling or repairing. It's a visual solution that lets you see everything you own at a glance and easily grab it without having to rummage. Lazy Susan rotating corner shelf. In deep corner cabinets, digging around to find items tucked away in the back is a blind, frustrating, and time-consuming job, as items are often forgotten in the deepest part. My grandma solved this problem by installing a turntable, also known as a Lazy Susan. She installed rotating shelves in corner cabinets, pantries, and even under the sink. This spinning design brings items to the front with a simple turn, essentially doubling the usable space in corner cabinets, which often become black holes for forgotten items. The turntable can be used to store canned goods, spices, or baking supplies, making searching easy and efficient. This tip is especially helpful in deep storage areas where reaching the back is a challenge. For added efficiency, it's a good idea to choose a multi-tiered version to double the vertical storage space, making the most of the cabinet height. Window shelf herb garden. To have fresh herbs year-round without taking up any precious counter or kitchen floor space, my grandma used glass shelves across the window. She often used simple brackets and recycled window glass panels as shelves, placing them right in front of the kitchen window. This vertical garden provided fresh herbs for cooking and also improved air quality without blocking natural light or floor space. The interesting thing is that each shelf would catch a different amount of light, perfect for different types of plants depending on their light needs. This not only solved the space problem, but also brought a fresh, lively green beauty to the kitchen. My grandma always emphasized that bringing nature indoors, even in small spaces, was necessary, and this trick helped her do it smartly, without taking up any space in the main living area. The art of kitchen organization. If you don't know how to organize, the kitchen will become a chaotic mess with countless appliances and gadgets. First is organizing the refrigerator. Is your fridge messy like this? Back then, refrigerators were smaller and simpler, but even so, organization was still very important. Grandma designed a turntable behind the refrigerator. The turntable helped bring sauces, pickles, or condiments to the front with a quick spin, avoiding the mess when trying to reach things. Turntables are also very effective in the pantry, especially in deep, hard-to-reach corners. When choosing a turntable, choose one with a raised edge to prevent items from spilling when spinning. When storing food in the freezer, using paper labels often ran into problems where the stickers got stuck or the writing faded, making it hard to figure out the contents. Grandma would clip wooden clothespins directly onto the edge of the frozen containers using a permanent marker to write the contents or date on the clip. This solution keeps your freezer tidy and easy to rotate stock because the labels stay visible and readable even when items shift. Both the containers and the clips can be reused many times, conveying Grandma's spirit of thriftiness. Even the outer surface of the refrigerator was fully utilized and turned into a useful storage area, mounting magnetic spice tins on the side. Shallow tins with clear lids or neatly labeled kept spices visible and easy to grab while cooking. With just a few magnetic tins, drawer, and shelf space in the kitchen was immediately freed up, making the cooking area neater and more intuitive. In the kitchen cabinets, another principle was applied to maximize space. Nesting baking tools, large mixing bowls were stacked into each other, and right inside were measuring cups and spoons, all packed into a single, compact block. Thanks to this, there was no need for separate drawers or bulky racks for each type of tool. When needed, just lift the entire stack of bowls out at once, saving time and reducing searching. This arrangement not only saves space, but also makes the cooking process flow smoother. Placing the tool pyramid near the prep area makes all operations quick and convenient, especially in a cramped kitchen. It's a clear testament to the mindset of utilizing every centimeter, turning flat surfaces and small gaps into smart, neat, and durable storage systems. Storage behind the door. In many small homes, the back of the door was once seen as useless space, but actually, it's one of the most effective vertical storage areas. By just hanging a shoe bag, a spice rack, or attaching a few thin wooden strips, this flat surface instantly turns into a narrow but extremely useful shelf system. The floor space doesn't change, but the amount of storage increases significantly. Tens of square feet are created from an area that was once forgotten. A prominent example is the shoe rack hung behind the door. Instead of just holding shoes, it can hold dozens of items: dry goods in the kitchen, crafts supplies, cleaning products, or small items that easily get lost. In the bathroom, the back of the door can hang towels, small mirrors, or magazine racks, freeing up wall and shelf space. Even the pantry, where space is often lacking, benefits greatly from fully utilizing this vertical area. This tip is especially suitable for small homes where every centimeter is important. Adding inexpensive hooks or shallow shelves can replace bulky, large cabinets, bringing neatness without the cost of renovation. The older generation always followed a simple but effective philosophy in small living spaces. Every item must serve more than one purpose, and if it doesn't serve a dual purpose, it is wasting valuable space. Trunk coffee table. The old chest, also known as a steamer trunk, was Grandma's secret storage weapon. These large trunks served as a central coffee table, a side table next to the sofa, or a bench at the end of the bed, being both practical and having a classic aesthetic. During the 1940s, a quality trunk cost about $15, equivalent to about $200 in current value, but they lasted through generations, proving the value of investing in durable goods. Using the trunk as furniture helped keep heirlooms safe from damage, while the trunk itself doubled as essential furniture, creating a perfect two-in-one solution for small spaces. Inside the trunk, my grandma hid bulky winter coats, Christmas or Easter decorations, or entire sets of precious china, things you only needed seasonally. By storing these items inside the trunk, she immediately freed up space in the closets and china cabinets. The interiors of these trunks were often cleverly designed with layered compartments and trays, helping to organize belongings scientifically, preventing them from getting mixed up. The sturdiness and nostalgic look of the trunk turned it into an indispensable decorative item while thoroughly solving the storage need. Attic pulley system. Getting heavy boxes or seasonal items up the narrow attic stairs was a laborious, strenuous, and sometimes dangerous chore, but Grandma solved it by installing a simple rope and pulley system. This system created a manual elevator system that could lift heavy 50-pound boxes with minimal effort. This helped avoid struggling with heavy items up cramped attic stairs, protecting her back and saving energy. My grandma just stood at the bottom of the stairs and gently pulled the rope, letting gravity and the pulley do the rest of the work. The pulley was often securely attached to the attic's exposed beams, using simple but effective mechanics. What's amazing is that the whole system only cost a few dollars for hardware bought from the local store, proving that cleverness and resourcefulness don't necessarily come with high costs. This system not only made storage easier, but also much safer, especially for older people. My grandma taught that sometimes the best solution isn't the latest technology, but applying simple mechanical principles to daily challenges. This is a tip that shows the resourcefulness and DIY ability of that generation, turning a difficult-to-use space into an efficient storage area. Hiding cluttering cords in woven baskets. In Grandma's small house, the mess of tangled electrical cords, chargers, and power strips often looked bad and took up significant space on the floor or desk. To manage this cord mess, my grandma used an old woven basket. She cut a discreet hole in the back or side of the basket, threaded the cords through, and hid the entire power strip and excess cables inside. Then, the basket was cleverly hidden behind a piece of furniture, keeping the area neat and clean, immediately eliminating the clutter. The woven basket, with its breathable texture, helped hide the power strips, chargers, and excess cables while still allowing air to circulate, preventing charging devices from overheating. My grandma often chose baskets with a lid or hinge top to easily access the plugs when needed. To achieve maximum organization, she also added labeled twist ties to keep each cable separate, which was extremely helpful when you needed to unplug a specific item without having to fumble through the tangled mess. This tip is both an aesthetic and practical solution, helping keep the living space both tidy and safe while honoring the beauty of handicrafts. Drawer divider boxes. Junk drawers were always a big challenge in any home, but my grandma had a habit of turning trash into treasure by keeping every small box that came into the house, from jewelry boxes to wooden cigar boxes. These boxes were then used as dividers for silverware in the kitchen, sewing supplies in the cabinet, or small items in the junk drawer. This system cost absolutely nothing and created a perfectly customized drawer arrangement. Instead of having to buy expensive drawer dividers, these wooden and cardboard boxes could be customized by cutting or combining them to fit the size and shape of the drawer, creating a unique organizing solution just for the family. To make them look nicer and more durable than today's plastic organizers, Grandma covered them with leftover wallpaper or contact paper from other projects. This was not only a lesson in resourcefulness and material reuse, but also created a highly effective and personalized drawer organization system. Her drawers were always neat. Every small item had its own place and was easy to find. Clothesline pulley system. Drying clothes, especially in small spaces or on rainy days, required high efficiency, and my grandma solved this by installing a complex pulley system for the clothesline indoors. Instead of just a simple clothesline that made you walk back and forth a lot, the pulley meant Grandma never had to walk the length of the line. She just stood in one spot and pulled the rope to hang each item. This system could extend multiple lines when needed and retract completely when not in use, keeping the space tidy and uncluttered. The line could run from the back porch to a pole in the yard or along the entire length of the attic, depending on the available space. This was an efficient and low-effort drying solution in small spaces, especially important during bad weather days. This solution wasn't just a simple trick, but also an optimized workflow, minimizing wasted time and energy. Nesting furniture. My grandpa often built nesting tables into sets of 3 or 4 that could slide perfectly into one another, and this principle was applied to everything in the house, from mixing bowls in the kitchen, storage boxes to stools. Everything was designed to take up minimal space when not in use. In daily life, just a small table was enough. But when guests arrived, all the tables were pulled out to serve drinks or snacks, quadrupling the usable surface. The largest table might only be 24 inches square, with each smaller table fitting perfectly underneath. This was the original smart form of multifunctional furniture, optimizing living space, a timeless classic solution for small homes. This cleverness ensured that my grandma's small house was always ready for large gatherings without having to sacrifice floor space for bulky, infrequently used furniture. This wasn't just about storage. It was about the adaptability of the space. If you feel these non-tech solutions from my grandma are bringing back memories of the resourcefulness of the previous generation, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can continue exploring other timeless wisdom with us. wall-mounted folding table. In small rooms, sometimes just a little extra countertop space is enough for working or preparing meals, but no one wants a bulky table constantly taking up room. My grandma solved this by using wall-mounted folding tables attached directly to the wall with heavy-duty hinges and folding flat when not in use. When folded down, they only stick out 2 inches from the wall, almost invisible, not taking up valuable floor space. But when raised, they could provide ample workspace for sewing projects, crafting, or even comfortable seating for 4 people. She could have one in the kitchen for extra prep space, one in the bedroom as a desk, or in the hallway as a telephone table, proving the versatility of the design. The support mechanism was often a folding leg or chains attached to wall hooks, making it a flexible solution for addressing the need for extra countertop space without sacrificing room. This is a great example of furniture designed to meet immediate needs, then discreetly disappear. Cabinet door organizer. Inside every kitchen cabinet door, a space that was often completely wasted, my grandma installed narrow racks made from thin wood strips and small nails. The materials only cost a few cents. The kitchen cabinet that seemed full suddenly had room for double the items when things like pot lids, cutting boards, and baking trays were stored vertically on the door. She measured each item and customized the shelf spacing to ensure everything fit perfectly without shifting. This was a low-cost way to customize cabinet space, but the organizational value was priceless. It helped fully utilize the shallowest space of the cabinet where that would normally just go to waste. This completely solved the problem of pot lids and cutting boards being stacked up, making it easy and quick to grab them without knocking over other items. The cleverness and meticulousness in measuring each item created a personalized storage system more effective than any mass-produced product. Adjustable length hanging rod organizer, tension rod. Before the time of shower caddies, smart shelf combos, or modern organizing accessories, tension rods were the most versatile organizing tool in the house. Costing only about 25 cents in 1955 and requiring no drilling screws or fixed hardware, they worked based on spring pressure squeezed between 2 surfaces. Simple, fast, and extremely versatile. These small rods were used to neatly hold cleaning supplies under the kitchen sink, where bottles often tipped over and took up a lot of space. Just setting the rod horizontally instantly created new hanging space for spray bottles, cleaning rags, or detergent bottles. In the closet, a second rod was placed below the main rod to double the hanging space for shirts and light clothing, which was especially useful in small closets that lacked room. They also created very effective vertical dividers. When placed in kitchen cabinets, the spring rods kept baking trays, cutting boards, or cake pans standing upright, making them easy to grab and preventing them from falling into messy piles. When needs changed, just a gentle twist and removal, leaving no marks or requiring repairs. It was this ability to change instantly, low cost, and wide applicability that made tension rods a reliable organizing solution for every corner of the house. Corner cabinet carousel. This is a more complex organizing solution for deep corner cabinets, expanding the concept of the rotating spice rack of the Lazy Susan to the entire cabinet. My grandma had Grandpa build round wooden shelves on a central rotating pole. The simple mechanism, using a metal pole with ball bearings, turned previously wasted corner space into premium storage space by bringing everything easily within reach with just one turn. This smart mechanical solution allowed for maximum utilization of the depth and height of large corner cabinets, completely solving the black hole problem where items often got forgotten. Instead of having to crawl into the cabinet to search, everything was gently brought to the front. This is an extremely effective way to store canned goods or bulky baking tools, making searching no longer a difficult chore. Bathroom ladder shelf. The bathroom is often one of the smallest spaces in the house, where vertical storage is paramount, and my grandma turned an old wooden ladder leaning against the bathroom wall into a towel rack and storage for toiletries. This vertical storage solution takes up less than a square foot of floor space, but provides multiple levels of storage and display. Each rung of the ladder can hold neatly rolled towels or baskets for face towels and soap. The top section could be supplemented with a small board to create a shelf for decorative items or perfume bottles. By painting it white, it looked more intentional than temporary. An effective vertical storage solution that brought a rustic and elegant touch to the small bathroom. This is a great way to enhance storage capacity without permanent or expensive installation, utilizing the room's height instead of its width. These tips from Grandma aren't just storage solutions, they are proof of wisdom and resourcefulness. From storing linens in pillowcases to turning stairs into drawers, the previous generation taught us how to turn every nook and cranny into valuable real estate. The most incredible thing is that these solutions were cheaper, more durable, and more effective than most modern solutions we buy today. Grandma figured out all these tricks without Google, YouTube, or any technology. Let's cherish this wisdom. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can join us in preserving these precious family legacies.